hi, it's Evelyn, and I'd like to talk to you about pumpkins. And this is the right time for it, as it being Halloween tomorrow. And I see lots and lots of pumpkins in the shop. The big orange ones that people use for carving. It's for a lot of people. I think it's the only time of the year when they would buy a pumpkin, and not a lot of people are actually used to eating them. But they are actually quite delicious. But the ones that they sell for carving are usually not the best taste experience. So they are edible, but they can be a bit watery or fibrous because they were just grown for carving and maybe not so much for taste. And also, so you might not really want to eat them, or at least try them out before you make a soup of them and put good ingredients in there, and then it's a bit of a disappointment. But some might be good, so it's a matter of trying. Just taste a little bit. If it tastes of nothing, then maybe it's not such a good idea. The other thing you should not be doing is after you've been, like, say you've been carving the pumpkin over the weekend, and then it's been sitting on your windowsill for a few days, and then you decide you want to cook it. It might have gotten moldy, and it's maybe not such a very good idea to still eat them. So what to do with them if you don't want to eat them? Well, I would say put them on the compost, because they will make great compost. And then go to the shop and buy a pumpkin that is actually really nice to eat, because it was grown for taste. There's a few of them are my favorites. I like the small orange ones that are either called red curry or uchiki curry, or some kind of Japanese name. We had them a lot in the Netherlands, but I see them here as well, mainly in health food shops. And they are really lovely, and also they don't have such a thick skin, so you can eat them with the skin and you don't have to peel them. We see a lot of butternut squash here. They have a very good taste, and I just bought this one here, which is one called Crown Prince, and which is one of my favorites because it has a deep orange flesh, and it has a lovely taste when I roast it, and I'm really looking forward to eating that thing. So then the next question is, like, how do you handle a big pumpkin like that? So I've been struggling with that, and sometimes even had to ask my husband to cut it in half for me. So what I would do is use a big knife, put it in, and try to halve it. If that doesn't work, I would take a knife and pierce the pumpkin and just put it in a baking dish in the oven for quite some time. I would say 40-45 minutes on 180 degrees, and you can take it out and test if it's soft. And if it's soft, you take it out, you cool it, and then it's very easy to cut. You take out the seeds, and you end up and then you can try out whether you like the skin or not. If you don't like it, it's very easy to take the skin off. And if you do like it, you can just use the skin, because there's always lots of good stuff in the skin. I usually use the skin if it's okay, except for, like, there's these little sort of scabby bits that I, of course, take out because they can be a bit woody. So with the small orange ones, I would take a little disc off the top and off the bottom, so that I can sit them, firmly on the cutting board, and then I would cut it in half, and then in quarters scoop out the seeds, and either roast them like that or make like chunks, big chunks, and roast them like that with some olive oil and some spices. You can also just roast them, and then again, when you harvest it, you end up with, like, the sort of pumpkin puree that you can either freeze or use in soups or pies or things like that. One of my favorite recipes at the moment is making a pumpkin spice latte. So I would take 2 heaped tablespoons of that, sort of heap, not too much, of that pumpkin puree together with half a cup of coconut milk and a bit more than half a cup of water. I would put in a teaspoon of cinnamon and half a teaspoon of mixed spice and a quarter teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg, a little pinch of salt, and then like a tablespoon or less, according to your taste, of maple syrup. Would put that in like a high bowl and put the stick blender in and blend it up. And once it's blended, I would heat it and then drink it. I often put a scoop of collagen powder in there. Collagen powder is a protein powder, and I often put that in because if I don't, a drink like this might be too high in carbohydrates for me, and it would affect my blood sugar, and the protein powder slows that down a bit. So that was my idea on pumpkins. Just let me know what your favorite pumpkin is, or your favorite pumpkin recipe, or if you have any questions. See you at the next video.